Hi everybody, this is Jim Egan, head of school, Synapse School, with a Friday update. 5 minutes, 5 insights, 5 domains, let's go. Number one, something I'm thinking about. I think about this all the time. I think about kids and play and the function of school, but in particular today, I saw a student, I was on the playground, I was talking to Jen at admissions, and I was saying how I just love watching the kids operating in their environment. And there was a little boy, a kindergartner, with a Tonka truck. And I looked at that Tonka truck and I was like, hey, that's a metal truck that like I would have when I was in kindergarten in 1976. And then you see the kids skipping and climbing and pushing each other and grabbing a ball and digging in sand. And I can assure you, adults, they're not thinking about the changes in our government structure. And they're not thinking about new monetary systems. And they're not thinking about the AI revolution that's happening around us. And so some of these parent anxieties that every school head encounters, I wonder if the anxieties would be less if parents could simply see how their kids are playing. Certainly here at Synapse, I imagine at any school that is allowing a child to be themselves, I think you would see the same thing. They're thinking about play and funny stories and painting their hands on sidewalks. It's very reassuring. I'm not concerned about kids whatsoever or the planet at all when I stand on a lower school playground. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, number two, this is a shout out to someone I think almost everybody knows in the community, and they know very well because he has a very large presence here and a personality to match, and that's Eben, a teacher in our middle school. Eben started off as a lower school associate and has had many roles here, taught math in middle school, and is now teaching humanities to 7-8 as an advisor, and is also doing computational thinking. And Eben is just ubiquitous with Synapse. He was one of my earliest hires when I came in here, has an insatiable curiosity, an incredible ability to know lots of things about lots of things. But most importantly, for so many of our students, they are able to connect with him and feel safe and seen and understood in ways that I think even me, I can't do what he does with that connection, particularly to the middle schoolers. And so Eben, I want to just shout you out for just being who you are and being with us for so many years, right? Sticking around with the growth of the school, changing the roles, growing up here means something personally to me, but I think it's also incredibly important to our community as a whole. All right, Eben. Rock on. Thanks for all that you do. Number three, a look ahead. I've talked about this before, I believe, in videos. I certainly have talked about it here at Synapse. This idea of a 5-year view, a strategic plan for the next 5 years. So this is something that is going on right now for me, talking with consultants, making decisions, getting scopes of work from those consultants about the strategic roadmap that we're going to be building as a community so we can all recommit to the next phase of Synapse. I'm really excited about this. This is going on right now. So if you're a parent here or a staff member here, understanding that this 2026-2027 school year will be a deep dive into the next 5 years. I've said this before as well. It's really exciting time to be an educator right now. Historically speaking, I do believe we're in a sort of fourth industrial revolution of sorts with the new technologies, the AI conversation leading the charge there. So building a school or thinking about Synapse in that window of time and history is really, really powerful. And so we're going to be taking a hard look at where we should be going in the next 5 years. That's a look ahead. All right, number four, a peek behind the scenes. Sometimes people wonder or ask me, hey, what goes on in staff meetings? Are you really sorting out basically the tactics? Sometimes, but also what I'm doing is starting those meetings with the mission and the vision and the values and focusing on our pillars, SEL, innovation, leading edge academics. So we'll do deep dives into our Brainwave Learning Center, right? That is a research practice partnership with Stanford. Certainly, there's nothing more innovative than that. So that's a pillar. This week, we focused on admissions, but before that, I wanted to make sure, does everyone understand what it means to be an SEL school? So it's a higher level conversation, making sure everyone knows on staff, this is what we do, this is who we are, and this is why we do it. And on SEL, for example, lots of schools are doing SEL now, which is great, but they're often approaching it as an opportunity opportunity to teach kids about their emotions and to regulate or to manage behavior, we're really thinking about, when we say SEL school, we want kids to make good judgments and feel like they have control and agency to make decisions that are value aligned right now, because they're in the real world right now, but also beyond Synapse. That's what we mean by SEL at Synapse. It isn't just about behavior or understanding emotions. It's understanding yourself to make good choices, to do amazing things aligned with your values. Number 5, just because our 7th and 8th grade kids, or maybe it was just the 7s, I'm not sure exactly, but I know this happened. They were reading in Lena's language arts class, short story, I believe it was called 7th grade, by Gary Soto, and they decided to write a sequel. Each kid wrote a sequel to that story and then sent those stories to Gary, the author, Gary Soto. Well, what happened? He wrote back and was like, wow, he read them all and he thought they were all great sequels and he addressed the class personally. I just found out from Stephanie, middle school director here. So Lena, awesome. Parents, you should know that our kids are not afraid to reach out to authors or to reach out to anybody and show them their creative and curious spirit. That's it. Have a super weekend. If you haven't subscribed, you can, and we will see you next week. No school on Monday. Okay, take care.